Hi, and welcome to my YouTube channel called Morgan Sankofa. Today is Personal Poems Monday. Just like a brief introduction, if this is your first time watching, my YouTube channel, Morgan Sankofa, is a place where I read my own personal poems and also poems from very accomplished poets, such as Mary Oliver, Langston Hughes, Nikki Giovanni, etc. And I share my own personal interpretation of that, as well as my own personal interpretation of my own work. And I also like to deliver an action step or like an affirmation for you to keep throughout your week. So if you're here for the first time, welcome, and please stay for a few minutes, and hopefully I can teach you something that will inspire you, and hopefully it will encourage you to be more bold in your own writing journey and as you explore poetry or just any of your other creative interests. So today's video is about how to start writing poetry. So if you're interested in that, I would encourage you to stay for a little while. So my first step would be to get a notebook like this, and something with a lot of blank pages, so you can kind of, have that freedom. You don't feel confined to any lines. That's what I like to do. And so that would be my first step. My second step would be to write out a list of potential topics that just are the first things that come to your mind. So my potential topics are pain, friendship, endings, visions, pitfalls, or recoveries. So feel free to use these suggestions to act as jumping off points for your own first poem if you're deciding to write for the first time. Okay, I just had to run into the other room, but my next suggestion is to buy books of poetry. I think it's really important to read and study and learn from other poets and authors that are doing the same thing that you want to do. So there's something called imitation, where you have to do some exploration and do some reading and some revisiting of your favorite poems. And what you do is you just read, and then you say, hey, I like the technique that this person is using. Let me try to match it and with something similar that I'm going through. And you can kind of see how they lay out their work. This one kind of looks like it's in more of like a paragraph style, and this one just seems more like, standard, typical that you would see. So I would definitely recommend to go in and, get some inspiration from other already published poets. So my another suggestion would be to choose from your topics list, and I decided to choose pitfalls. so I can show you that. And then after you choose your topic, then you can start to just write. And I would just suggest to, while you write, just to pull up a Google, Bing, whatever search engine that you like, and have dictionary.com on hand so that you can not just write how you speak, you can also find words that are synonyms and other elevated language that allows you to add more depth to what you're writing. So I wanted to read one of my poems that kind of matched that topic about pitfalls. So this is just a suggestion. Feel free to imitate it. Feel free to just see what happens after you read it, to see if you can get inspired off of what I decided to show you. This one is called 22 Still on Call. Shivering, 11 folds into 12, nested and caressed, yet distressed and at spiritual war. Can I let down my armor? Can I let in the myriad possibilities? Frozen and bleak like gray winter's salt, like black ice. Will I step into a trap? Is it like spraying elegant chic fragrance, breathing in to choke, or endure a day of lingering questions, disbelief, questioning, insecurity in home, my internal guard on call 24 hours. So that poem is really about staying up late into the night and always thinking about what could happen, those what ifs, and not being able to fully trust if what you're doing is right or wrong. So that's kind of what that one is about, and there's a lot of things that like go on in my own personal life, about being able to have faith in the next step and not believe that what is going to happen is necessarily going to be negative, but it may turn out to be something that is worthwhile. So that's what that one is about. Another tip would be to don't judge your poem. It's kind of hard to do when you're like, okay, like that's not that good, or I wasn't really feeling it. Like that may be the case, but what I would encourage you to do is just continue to write. Every poem has a purpose and it has a meaning, or you wouldn't be writing it. So my suggestion would just be that, if the first one doesn't come out right, just to keep going and continue to just pull out what you can from your experiences and from the words that are just coming out and that need to come out into your creative outlet. So that is my suggestion for you if you would like to get started with writing poems. It's a lifelong process, and for me, I've been really writing poems since about 2016. I think I was like sophomore in college, and now I graduated, so it is just something that I know I'm going to definitely keep with me, this poetry writing practice. It's a mental challenge, and it is something that anyone can do. So I encourage you to, right now, to get your pen, get your book, get a scrap piece of paper, use the back of your hand, whatever floats your boat, and just continue to keep writing.